Alright, Piss and Vinegar Day 88. God damn it. It is shoulders and biceps today, but I didn't have time to do a full session. So I kind of just did 2 exercises per body part. And that's kind of the luxury of high intensity, is you can get a very good workout done in like 10-15 minutes if need be. So that's kind of what I did today. Ordinarily, I did the same shoulder routine as I always do. I just do the overhead press with the dumbbells. Well, I would have done it with a barbell today, but barbell takes a little longer to set up, and I just, again, didn't have time. So went straight for dumbbells, and dumbbells were good. Upped the weight by 2 kilos each dumbbell and got 8 reps. So 36 for 8, not too bad, not too shabby. Hopefully next session will be 10 or 11, and then I'll be back up to, well, not back, but up to 38. So right now, shoulders are in uncharted territory. I've never shoulder pressed these kind of weights ever. Even at a heavier body weight that was overall stronger everywhere else, the shoulders have never been this strong. And by proxy of that, the shoulders have never been this big. So if you want big shoulders, as a natural especially, because you don't have the androgens that, you know, give you those unnatty 3D delts, you have to get a strong overhead press, ideally with the dumbbells or a seated one. The overhead press seated will be a bit better than the standing, because the standing you'll be limited by your technique and stability through the body, etc. So get a really strong dumbbell and or barbell overhead press seated, and you will have big shoulders. I mean, it's that simple, especially with the dumbbells. And then secondly, do high intensity. So lower that frequency, lower that volume, and you'll get big shoulders. I never had big shoulders from doing volume for years. They just never got big. They never got strong. Switch to high intensity, and they're fucking blowing up, and they're getting tremendously strong really quickly. So yeah, if you're in the same boat as I was for years, where the shoulders just won't grow and they won't get stronger, and you're just like, oh well, this is just me being natural, and natties don't have big shoulders. No, natties can have big shoulders, but you got to train them right. So do an overhead press, 1 set to failure, maybe a drop set or 2 if you really want to go for it. I decided to do a 3rd drop set today, where I would do an extra Arnold press at the end, and just to get a bit more stimulus into the front delt, because fuck it, why not? And then I was doing side lateral raises, and yeah, it's the same as what I do normally, even if I wasn't pressed for time, but I'm just doing the front delt, side delt, and that's it. And as I said last week, I'm experimenting with this by not doing unilateral side lateral curls after my dumbbell side lateral curls. That's a tongue twister. And this way I get to see if my shoulders, at least with the shoulders, but potentially with all my muscles, if training with incredibly low frequency and low exercise selection will still continuously let my shoulders to grow and get bigger. So we'll see over the next few months if my shoulders get bigger and stronger. And if so, then it is apparent that you don't need that many exercises or many sets at all to get big, strong shoulders. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at today. Is press for time, didn't have time. The biceps changed a little bit. So normally with the biceps, I would do a strict curl, and then I would do a seated curl, and then I'd do a reverse curl. And I'd also do rotator cuff work. But today I just didn't have time. And normally the seated curls I would do a slow 5-second tempo, but again, that takes a lot of time. So time was of the essence, and thus with high intensity, you can have fuck all time and still train. So I guess today's topic is, if you are strict for time, or you have a hard time getting in the gym because you have no time, get into high intensity training, because it will save you, guess what, time. If you're doing volume, you're looking at 3, 4, 5, 6 sessions a week that are, hour and a half, 2 hours long to get all that, different sets and reps in. With high intensity, you could realistically train once a week for 30 minutes. It wouldn't be ideal as, say, 4 or 5 days a week where you split up the body parts. But again, if you've got absolutely no time, you're like so time poor, you're a single mom, grind set, fucking Sigma male, whatever the fuck, just someone that's got no time, then you could literally just do a full body session once a week, 30 to 40 minutes. Do one exercise for a given body part. I've already made a video on this in the past where how to save time. Go watch that video. It'll go into more in depth. It even gives you a free program to run if you decided that you wanted to. So if you have no fucking time in your week, high intensity will help tremendously. And this works. This is on the flip side, or by the same token, really. If you are very lazy, it's the same thing. Maybe you have all the time in the world, but your TikTok has crushed your brain and you have no fucking capacity for difficult tasks. In which case, again, 10, 20 minutes a week, you could just potentially just do your upper body to start with, or maybe just start with arms. Just do fucking bicep curls and tricep extensions to failure once a week. And then in a month from there, you would go, all right, let's add some shoulders into that. And then a month after that, you might add some chest, and you just keep adding more as the habit becomes more habitual. So if you're lazy or time strict, then high intensity, as evident in a few different workouts I've done recently. Well, not so much recently, but in the last year where I've just fucking had no time to do anything, or at least a long workout. And I have to, my workouts are already short as, 20, 30 minutes max, unless it's a leg day. But sometimes you don't even have that much time. And then it's like a 10, 15 minute workout. Or I'm sick and I don't have the physical capacity to do a 30 minute, 40 minute leg day or whatever. And I'll just do, a set of leg extensions to failure and a set of hamstring curls to failure. You guys, even if you've been watching for a while, you might remember that video where I was just deathly sick with some fucking whatever the fuck it was. And I was like, fuck it, I'm still going to train anyway. And because I do high intensity, I could do that. If you did volume, there's no fucking way. You're not going to do 4 sets of 8 to 12 squats and fucking 5 sets by 5 deadlifts and then 3 sets of leg press and 4 sets of leg extensions and 4 sets of hamstring curls, and it goes on. You would not do that if you were sick. You wouldn't do that if you're time poor, and you wouldn't do that if you were lazy. And you wouldn't do that for many different reasons. So yeah, high intensity is the way for so many ways. But honestly, the most vital key, the main reason it works at least the most, or my fucking wording here sucks. One of the most important things about high intensity that makes it superior to volume, is what I'm trying to say, is that it's adherable. If you don't have time, if you're lazy, you're more likely to do it. And even if it was inferior, which it's not, something that you can do 100% of the time at 90% optimization is far superior to something that you can do 0% of the time at 100% optimization. So yeah, that's today's topic, is basically time poor, lazy, etc. do high intensity. And yeah, I mean, I didn't really cut much out of my workout today. Like, I did maybe one or two less exercises, and then I did a few really quick autistic poses. This is kind of, I have my own posing style. I'm just going to own it now. Like, for a while there, I was thinking, I really need to learn how to pose, because I don't know how to pose. But I think now my thing is going to be never learn how to pose, just make my own shit up. Just kind of like be an autistic retard and do these like kind of weird posing, awkward, like no fucking facial awareness, and just squeezing as hard as I can, and just generally trying to look as big as I can under the best lighting that I can think of, because my lighting and posing awareness sucks. But it's my own thing. I own it. No one else does it, so I do it. It's the autistic retard posing. But yeah, that's it for today. See you guys tomorrow for more Pizza Video.